golf addicts? Welcome to the Tour Junkies DFS DraftKings preview for the Fortinet Championship 2023. DB here, Pat Perry in the seat. We're back.
Hey,
We're back. We had a little bit of a break, and now we have this weird fall. What is this, Pat? This is like the fall segment is like the PGA Tour side bay for 2023. It's like a little side action, little piece that you'll have one time and you'll never have again, because starting in January, the PGA Tour season will be calendar based. And I'm excited about that. But that also means this fall is going to be weird.
Yeah. I just thought, by the way, that I missed another opportunity, and I won't. It's been 9 years that we've done this.
Yeah, going on year
and
9.
I won't get this opportunity again for another year. But it's also the first Monday night football game.
Yeah.
I guess he doesn't do it that Sunday night though, when Chris Collinsworth does it like slide in. I could have slid in right there.
You could have.
But I missed another opportunity.
He already did it. He did it last night, didn't he? Did he do it last night?
Probably.
For the Cowgirls and the Giants?
I don't know if you could call them Cowgirls after last night.
A defense, boy. Oof. It looked pretty stout. Yeah, 9 years we've been doing this. This is our it's unbelievable. I can't believe we still have listeners. So thank you to all of you who do. We appreciate it. And we need more of you. I'm telling you, we need more of you. We need more listeners. That would be great. So tell somebody, tell a friend. Spread the TJ gospel. We're going to get into the Fortinet DraftKings preview, break down each price range. We're going to end up with the 6K draft at the end. We just looked, and as of Monday night, when we're recording this, there are no BMW PGA DraftKings DFS contests in the lobby, which is crazy because the BMW PGA has an incredibly stacked field. We did talk about that event at the end of our betting preview, which you can check that out wherever you listen to your podcast, wherever you're watching this. And but yeah, we were going to talk about it here for DFS, but it's not there. So it's Fortinet only tonight, Pat.
Well, isn't that surprising though? I mean, it's football season, and this is what happens.
But everybody, you got John Rahm, Rory, Victor Hovland in the field. Like
I know, but people tend to just forget about golf for a little bit, especially on opening weekend.
Yeah,
they're just a little slow. I bet you we get some contests later this week.
I mean, the DP stuff starts earlier than it's going to be like Wednesday night. They got to have it ready to go, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if we'll see any. We shall see. Regularly scheduled programming though this week for the Tour Junkies. Both emails are going out. I'll do my Wednesday lunchtime live chat with the Discord. We'll also do our Wednesday night live chat with the Discord community. And blogs are already going out. Our boy Nate Moore got the rundown up if you want to check that out. And I already dropped my my betting card, Pat. I don't know if you noticed, but I already dropped it.
You know what? I haven't read it.
Yeah, I know you never.
But I did notice when you tweeted it out that you said you've made some changes to it.
Mm-hmm.
I only have one guess to the change.
And
you increased the you made it. You could bet over 25 to 1. I think you probably did 35 to 1.
You think I made the balls bigger?
Smaller.
Okay. So you said 35 to 1? It's been 25 to 1 for like 4 years.
Oh, wait. Yeah, no. Yeah, you made the balls smaller. Yeah, you made the balls smaller. You went to 20 to 1 is what you did.
I went to 20 to 1. It's a big move. It's a huge change in DB's Big Balls betting card brand. Yeah. Still feels ballsy. But just with the last couple of years and the run of shorter winners that we've seen, and that I've shut myself out of being able to bet on as a result of these limitations, I felt it was now time to adjust and pivot. So 20 to 1 still a bomb. I mean, that's a massive parlay in the NFL. If you put one of those together, you're going to be really happy with it. So 20 to 1 is still big enough, still ballsy enough. It's not like I'm going to have a lot of those. I mean, I probably won't. I'd be shocked if I bet more than 3 or 4 a year, honestly.
There's a lot of guys that fall in that 20 to 25 to 1 category. You gave yourself you shrunk them a little bit.
That was one change. The other change was just really, I don't know what to do with this fall segment. That's kind of what I was talking about at the beginning. With the fall segment just being weird. It's like it is technically still a part of the 2022-2023 PGA Tour season. It will not be included in the new season that starts next year. Whereas typically my cutoffs for for the betting card have been the actual tour season, which is which is like the fall through August. And the whole spring and summer, you and I were talking about the end of the betting card season being at the
Yeah.
end of the playoffs. So I just decided, I mean, like, I was like, am I going to tack this on to the end of last season and and continue counting my units from there? Or do I go ahead and start the new season here? But that doesn't make any sense, because then that would put me all the way through, even through the fall next year. So I just decided to it's its own thing. It's just
Yeah.
its own thing. And I said, listen, I might get weird with it. I might break some rules with it. If it does well, I will, man, I mean, I will just talk about how amazing it was. I'll probably
You'll
give
go
myself,
back. I think you're gonna go back on some things.
yeah, I'll give myself a head start in January if it goes well.
Or no, or like if mine does really bad in the fall, you'll just like retro back to
Yeah.
and make it like part and be like, oh well, actually I beat Pat's and I've already stake claim to the win. I won the
Yeah.
betting card contest. Not that there was a contest.
Yeah. I'll spin this however I have to spin it.
Yeah.
But all that to say, for starters, we're just cowboying it up. Pew, 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 pew. We're just cowboying it.
Hmm.
So, and the weather in Napa this week's supposed to be absolutely perfect. Going to be a big nothing situation. Golf course is soft already. I don't think there's anything I'm waiting on necessarily to fire on these guys. I'm sure that by the end, this always happens. Anytime I put out the full card on Monday, by the time Wednesday comes around, it's usually a good question that's asked in the Discord live chat from Spaz, or somebody will be like, DB, who did you have on the betting card on Monday that you wish you didn't now? Or who's somebody that you didn't put on the betting card that you would like to put on at this point? So I'm sure that will be the case somewhat, but I felt good about my guys. It's out. You can check it out right now. All the blog content, always free on tourjunkies.com. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. Speaking of the Nut Hut, Pat, it's been crushing, and the football season is keeping the Nut Hut alive, because golf is whatever. People are like, but we've got more football content going on in the Discord than we've ever had before. We've got multiple NFL touts in there. Our boy Kenny McAndress, Kill Kenny, the anytime touchdown, 2 TD GOAT, won people so much money last year. He's contributing in there. Alex Caruso, who's like a props king, fantasy king. He's contributing in there. He's dropped some plays. I think he did pretty good yesterday, by the way. I don't know if you tailed those props yesterday, but I think he made some people some money. I saw some winning tickets. Our very own Ben Little, Chalk Bomb Ben, who is placed in the Circa Millions contest the last 3 years. I think he went 3-2 yesterday. Every week, he's going to be dropping in his 5 Circa Millions picks against the spread for NFL. And again, like I said, he's done really well the last 3 years, well over a 55-60% clip for him, or approaching 60 to 65% clip for him over the last 3 years. So he's dropping that in. Our boy Dynamite Dean Emerson, that's a big one. Got to tell the people to check out that podcast interview with Dean, by the way. If you haven't already interviewed him, he is a full-time PGA Tour caddy, has been for about 4 years. I think he's going on year 5 here now. And he's also a degenerate gambler. And he's been gambling since he was 14 in just north of Boston. He's 52
Yeah.
now.
That would mean you're probably a degenerate.
Yeah, he's loving it. He's doing a great job in the Discord. He's dropping plays. He went 3-2-1 yesterday and Saturday with college plays. Our boy Nate Moore's dropping college football plays in there. The football thread channels in there are continuously active and hopping. So listen, if you think you shouldn't be in the Discord just because it's football season and it's only, it's 8 or 9 fall events that you kind of barely care about, don't do that, because it's still hopping. Plus, every Saturday we do our Discord only SoBet Saturday 1 hour live chat with a SoBet handicapper from 11 to noon Eastern every single Saturday through the football season. So plenty of reasons to be in the Nut Hut. And basically it works out to less than $5 a week if you want to be in there. And that's covering all your golf and all your football all year round. So it's been hot. It's been hot. We got to keep it going. Things, the Fortinet, Pat, let's, talk about the Fortinet. Max Homa is your back-to-back defending champ, going for the three-peat along with Justin Thomas. He's up top. Historically, I wanted to bring up a couple things because I drop this in the research thread every week, and it's really helpful for DFS. And I don't want to give all the goods because it's Discord folks, but we've seen kind of very two different. I think it's two different. I don't know. You could argue maybe it's
Very too different. Is that the right? Is that how you would say that?
very two. No, no. I was gonna say
Sounds like
very,
something I would say.
well. This is because my brain's confused. I was
Yeah.
gonna say very different, but then I started looking at them, and you could kind of make an argument that they're kind of the same. So I was thinking this is two different approaches to lineup construction in the last 2 years. But then I was kind of looking at them going, well, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of, I guess I would argue that one is balanced for sure, and one is studs and duds. In 2022, studs and duds really paid off. You had Max Homa in the 10K range, and you had 3 6K players in the perfect lineup. In 2021, you had no 10K players. You had 1 9K player. You had 4 8K players and a 6K player. Hyper balanced in 2021. I will say this. Both years, the perfect lineup did barely cracked 60% total ownership, and a lot of the chalk bombed. A lot of the chalk bombed. So let me see what I want to share here. I would say that less than 50% of the highest owned players both years, even actually, let's see. Yeah, wait a minute. God, I'm so rusty. Just over 50% of the highest owned players made the cut both years.
Hmm.
That's making the cut.
Okay.
So it's, I think being a little uncomfortable is going to be a thing. I think leaving a substantial amount of salary could be possible. Looking at the 7K range, and we'll get into it, there's a lot of good players in the 7K range. I mean, being balanced and leaving a lot of money on the table could be a viable option here, but I think there's going to be some volatility. And unlike the last few years, the top end of this field, the depth in this field is even less to me. I don't know what the actual world golf ranking strength of field rating is. I'd be curious to look at that after this is done. But I mean, this can't be as popular or as strong a field as it has been in years past, given the new structure.
Well, that actually leads me into my question I was going to ask you.
Oh, okay.
If you were to take this year's field, okay, and change it up to where you could add, like in the past, the Corn Ferry people,
Which we don't have a lot
which
of.
we don't have a lot of this year. Would it be stronger with the Corn Ferry people added in, or as it is, which would take out some of the players that are in there?
I think overall,
And would that change how your strategy would be? I don't think it would change the strategy all that much. I personally think you might have a little bit stronger field adding in those top 20 or so Corn Ferry graduates.
Yeah, maybe because it would eliminate kind of the bottom of the barrel, bottom dwelling, leeches that are old and washed up, maybe near the bottom. But maybe that's a thing to think about for the 6K range. And I'm just thinking out loud here. In the past, we've seen some strong 6K performances here, and it may be because a lot of those 6K players were unknown Corn Ferry Tour graduates with a lot of talent and a lot of upside. But when you scroll the 6K range this year, it's a lot of names you already know. It's a lot of known commodities that suck. Yeah, it's a lot of miscuts. I was writing down some names for the 6K range draft, and it is probably the fewest amount of names I've written down ever in the 6K range draft for a full field event. So that could be a thing. That could be a thing. I don't see myself, especially with the historical performance of the chalk and the 10K range and the way this 6K range looks. I think the more balanced approach, balanced build is going to be quite popular this week.
Yeah, I would agree there. Personally, of the Corn Ferry people, I am very disappointed that Alejandro Tosti is not going to be in this field because we don't get to see him go scorched or earth on anybody around him. Because if you didn't read that story during the last few weeks, he was suspended. He wouldn't have been in the field anyway because we don't have the Corn Ferry people. But
Well, unless
I
he
don't
would
know.
have some sponsors exemption, because there are some Corn Ferry Tour guys playing on
Yeah,
sponsor exemptions. But yeah,
but I'm
apparently
I'm really going to be watching some Toasty once he gets back.
me too. I can't wait. Apparently, Toasty's is kind of a loose cannon,
Yeah.
and that's to put it lightly.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's talk about the 10K range. Obviously, you've got the Ryder Cup coming, right? So next week we've got an off week. The guys will be traveling to Rome. If they're not already there, obviously the European Tour players are already over in that direction, getting ready to play Wentworth. But the U.S. team, some of them are already there, yes. But Homa and Justin Thomas being up at the top and in this field, looking ahead to the Ryder Cup in a couple weeks. So, I think this is the question. In the 9K and above range, I think Justin Thomas and Stefan Jaeger are going to be left out, because I don't know how many people truly want to put any trust in a 10-5 Justin Thomas in what I think is kind of just another opportunity for him to get right and figure it out. You know, it's so he doesn't have to spend another week, swinging between pool noodles like he just illustrated a couple of days ago on social media, and I'm quite familiar with, by the way. I'm quite familiar with swinging between a lot of pool noodles. My pro does the same thing to me when I get in there, and it makes me feel like an absolute ding dong.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you feel silly up there when you are
Yes,
you wondering, looking around, like, is anybody watching this?
yes.
Mm.
But it is crazy, like, how golf is so freaking stupid. Like, if my pro puts a pool noodle at a certain point right here, and it's there, I see it in my brain, I won't hit it, and I'll attack more from the inside. When that pool noodle's not there, even if my brain is going, okay, pretend the pool noodle is there, I will hit the thing. So it just, maybe remember to guess in a couple weeks if you could just bring a pool noodle, and every time I go to swing, maybe you just hold it there at a certain angle.
Okay.
Would you be willing to do that if I asked you to?
If you need me to do that, I will do that for you,
Okay.
DP. What
Um,
would you do for me?
um, I would tie a rope around your hip, and
Mm.
I would stand a comfortable distance away from you, and right at the top, I would
Pull me forward,
yeah,
yank me
forward.
forward.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that you don't fall back on your back foot.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm out on Justin Thomas. I think people are gonna see Jaeger's price and go, no. Cam Davis is ever popular, obviously ended the season pretty hot. And then there's Max Homa, who I've also ended the season playing quite well, and he's your back-to-back winner. Personally, I think I'm fading the whole range. I'm out on the whole 10K range. I'm gonna stay balanced. I don't like the 6K range at all. I I do think come Wednesday night, we'll be looking at a low-owned Justin Thomas, who has played very well here in the
I
past.
mean, so is this your way of saying that you're like you said, let's be uncomfortable this week? Is
Mhm.
your way of being uncomfortable just fading that range? Because you could also be uncomfortable by taking Justin Thomas.
100%. I was gonna say, I don't think that's the only way you get uncomfortable, not at all.
Yeah.
It's just the way I'm choosing to get uncomfortable. I don't want to play Justin Thomas. I don't. Even if he's 8% owned, because the thing you have to remember is you still at that price, we're still wanting or needing Justin Thomas. I mean, he's realistically, like, we need him to finish in the top minimum, I would say 5
Mhm.
in DraftKings points scored to pay off what you're getting there and what you're having to go in the just barrel scraping you're gonna have to do to fit more pricey players in your lineup. So I would rather, for that one spot, I would rather go a little more balanced, have a couple of 9K guys I like, dabble in the 8K. And I really do think this mid to top end 7K range is strong. So I think I'm gonna completely fade the top tier. But I do think come Wednesday night, Justin Thomas and Jaeger are gonna be low owned.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Jaeger, and I get it. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to
Yeah,
that
not
he
at that
can,
price.
but that price scares the hell out of me. I
He
feel like
feels like
I'm
a cut maker, but again, you gotta have more than that.
at
You
10 too.
Jaeger
I
needs a
mean, come
top 10,
on.
and he doesn't have that many top 10s. He makes a lot of cuts.
He also can't putt really that well.
He's
He's a
very bad putting on Poa. Very bad.
123rd in the field from what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
That's over the last 100 rounds on POA.
He only has he only has one top 10 in 2023. Now he's got some close calls, an 11th, a 13th, a couple 14s. He's got one top 10.
Why is he? I'm kind of confused as to why he's priced up this high.
Well, but again, as you start going down the field, you start looking and going, okay, well, it may be. I mean, I don't know why he would be priced higher than Cam Davis or, to me, even Thigala, just given the upside, and maybe even Cole. Like I probably, if I were pricing this, I probably would have gone Homa. I mean, I would have had to do JT, but honestly, I think Cam Davis is a better value. But I would have gone Homa, JT Davis, Sahith, and Yeager would have fallen right in that. I would have been wrestling whether or not to have Eric Cole in front of him or not.
I don't even see a great course history here.
And I damn sure wouldn't have had him priced. Well, no. Okay. Well, I definitely would have had him above Bo Hostler. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah.
On Bo Hostler.
Bo Hostler's now on the list for me.
He is.
He will not.
Well, huh?
Well,
What?
Yeah, Hostler's on the list. No play.
Really?
Yep.
Since when?
It happened.
Why?
I don't know when it happened at some point a few weeks. No, not it was now more like a month ago. Maybe it was the Open Championship. Was I on him for the Open? There's no way.
God, why would you?
I couldn't have been that dumb.
Did he play in the Open Championship?
I don't know. I couldn't have been that stupid. I've done a lot of stupid things.
You haven't been drinking enough liquor on the podcast to get to that.
No, I know I haven't. But I do think there's a chance I could play some JT. I will say that. I think he's going to enter into the lineups.
By the way, Hostler for sure did not play the Open.
Yeah, I didn't think he would. I do really like some of these players though in the 9K range, which is one reason I could see not playing a JT, definitely not a Yeager or a Max Homa, because I'm so big into these guys like Sahith. I love Eric Cole. I like Brendan Todd.
Yeah.
You look at a guy like Putnam down here at 9,100. I mean, that sounds crazy, 9,100 for Putnam, but still, I'd much rather play him than Yeager. So that's the only thing I can think of that would put me off, and that's probably one reason you're, like you said, you're kind of moving off this over 10K range. Is there's really good options in here to get yourself a balanced lineup with guys that I think feel not only safe but with upside. Like Eric Cole, safe for sure, plenty of upside. Sahith, probably a little, like if you're scaling it out a little bit,
volatility.
He's a little more on the upside than he is on the safety. But still, I like that. I'm fine with that trade-off with Sahith.
I mean, that being said, and I love both those players, I do think both of those guys will be pretty I think a lot of lineups are going to start with those two. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, I'll go ahead and say it's one reason why I put Cole on the betting card. I really came close to putting Sahith on the betting card at 20-1. And I tried it and worked it, and it just didn't get me the other plays that I really like in the middle, so I didn't do it. But I think those two are going to be fairly popular. So you're going to have to make a decision with those two. I do like Todd. The only other player in here that I like, and I like Todd okay, but you know who my favorite player in DFS is in this range is Alex Noren at 9K.
Okay.
We saw Noren surge, later in the year, although he slumped a lot in the middle. 9th at the Rocket, top 25 at the Open, 13th at the 3M. Obviously, he's an amazing putter, although POA has never really done him too great. The short game is usually what's saving him. Struggles off the tee, but it's more accuracy, and it's a lot less to do with distance. So I like that. I haven't looked at let me look at his wedge numbers. That's the only thing I have not looked at. I would guess, just off the top of my head, I would guess that he's probably better with his short irons and wedges, which you're going to have a lot of that here at Silverado. I would guess he's probably better in that range than average. I just feel like a guy who can really chip it well around the greens, which he's always been amazing around the greens, and a guy who's a really good putter, which he's consistently been a good putter. I feel like those guys are typically really good wedge players, and he's not. So that's not good. Not bad from the 125 to 150 range, but the 75 to like 125 range is pretty terrible. So I don't know. in DFS, I like the upside with Norin, and I feel like he's going to be a decent pivot. Now, if that being said, if he does come out to be more popular than I thought, I will gladly avoid him.
Yeah. Do you feel like why does nobody ever want to play JJ Spawn? I mean, he's so
I don't
solid.
hate
He
him.
can win.
Yeah, I don't hate him in DFS. I did not like him outright at all.
I don't think I would like him outright, but I could see playing him in DFS for
Yeah, I
sure.
could too. Yeah.
Let's see what he's done here.
Would
'Cause
you
it's
he's got a ninth a couple years back,
yeah.
59th last year, miscut. That's the thing I noticed about Silverado. It's like it's kind of weird. There's some guys who I mean, you've got like multiple winners like Brendan Steele and Max Homa who've won both twice. But then a lot of course history is very up and down. You know, there's just guys with a bunch of missed cuts and then bang a top 10 or a top 15. You know, it just seems Silverado's not necessarily super course history predictive to
Well,
me.
Napa's known for this because some years you have a good wine year, and then some years you don't. So it kind of translates into the golf. So maybe they go like some years somebody has a little too much wine and they party a little too much in Napa and they
And
have
they
too
learn
much
the
food.
next year.
And then they're like, oh, wait, I can't do what I did last year. This happens to me a lot, you know,
Yeah.
like at last year at some guy's trip, I went way overboard. And then I'm like, okay, so it goes in cycles. So it's like
Yeah.
this year I got to keep it in check. This was an in check year for me for like my draft weekend and things like that. So
Yeah, like draft weekend, you could have one of those drafts where like you're just absolutely toe up from the flow up and
mhm.
your draft goes horribly and you draft like you draft
You pick
horribly.
a kicker in the 8th round.
Yeah, and then you lose everything and you
Yeah.
go, "Okay, I can't do that again this year." And then the next year you come back and you're locked in. You're Adderalled out or whatever.
Mhm.
You're locked in, you're paying attention, you have a great draft. I could see that. I could see that being the case. We may have figured that out. We may have cracked the code to
Mhm.
Silverado course history. Okay, I don't by the way, I don't see myself playing a lot of cash this week with this tournament, this field. I don't love it. If I were going to, I would definitely start my lineups with Eric Cole.
Yep.
Um, and probably go from there to maybe I may even go both Cole and Sahith, or I might just go. I might even go JJ Spawn in cash.
I I think Todd's got cash potential too, but Eric Cole would be my first go-to.
Yeah, agree. All right, before we get to the AK range, how would you like to come to Augusta during that full week in April on that special Tuesday and walk around with me and Pat? That's right. We have that opportunity. You and a friend, you and a pal, you and a buddy. So here's how we're going to do this. We've got a great contest going, and the contest runs through the Zozo. Well, not through up to the Zozo Championship show this fall. So I think that's like end of October 30th or so. Is like the Monday before the Zozo. We're going to announce the winner, and you are going to get to choose a guest, and we are going to give you access with us on that Tuesday in Augusta in April. You're going to get pollen in your eye. You're going to have some great sandwiches, some great drinks. It's going to be amazing. And this is your best chance to get on site. I promise you that. Promise you that. And all you got to do, it's very simple. All you got to do is sign up and give our friends at SoBet a look. Give them a look. Sign up under our link. Give it a shot for at least, just 1 month or so, and you're in. And if you've already done that, you're already in. There is nothing else you have to do. It's beautiful, man. All you got to do is click the link in the description. It's going to pre-fill the code TJ. You're going to select monthly, 6-month, or annual membership. Doesn't matter which one you choose. Select one. And at the end of the checkout process, you can type in a second code, TJ Trial, and that gets you your first month totally free. And then you can cancel at any time. Although we would doubt that you won't. We doubt that you'll cancel because it's NFL season, it's college football season, and there are so many good handicappers on SoBet giving out picks every single week. You're not going to want to cancel. I mean, our boy was it Deep? Is it Deepak? Deepak has gone in college football the last 2 weeks. He's gone like 18-3-1 on SoBet platforms. He's won people like 35 units. If you
That's
scale,
just crazy.
unreal.
That's
That's so
really
hard
good.
to do.
Yeah. I
So
mean, I would take if I was betting on college football,
yeah,
I would take, you know, I don't know, 10-8. I'd be okay with that.
100%.
You know?
Yeah. He's crushing it. There's a lot of pros over there crushing it. And listen, they have every sport you can think of, every sport, not just football. It's also the home of the exclusive Tour Junkies top 40 round robin play that's up 6.2 units, I think, since April. So we're rocking and rolling over there. We're going to keep that going all fall. Yeah, so just give it a shot. See what you think. We bet you're going to love it. And all you got to do is sign up. And then you're absolutely in. We will draw from there. I was trying to find. I was gonna show. I'll see if I can pull it up. But I mean, people aren't gonna believe me. But I mean, Deepak is. Sorry. Okay. Wait a minute. Is that right? 15, 3-1. Yeah.
I
Actually,
mean, it's not.
do you want to know what his Monday Night Football plays are?
I do only because I did not bet it, but I had friends telling me what they wanted to bet, and I didn't like their bet, so I didn't want to take it.
I'm probably not allowed to do this because it's it's so bet and it's kind of behind the paywall here. But I'll drop a couple from Deepak, who's just hot. Now again, he's hot in college football, so I don't know. This could be
Well,
bad.
you got 20 minutes to get it in if you're gonna.
That's true. He's got Lazard having a big night. He's got Lazard over 37.5 receiving yards for 2 units and a Lazard anytime touchdown at plus 270 for 1 unit. I'll give you those two. He's got one more
What
on
is
there.
he? Is he not a Garrett Wilson believer?
I mean, it looks like he's pretty dialed in for. I'm sorry, it's not college football. It's NFL. Dude, he's crushing it in the NFL. It's not college football. I think that's even harder. Isn't that
Hell
harder?
yeah, it's even harder. I'm almost just happy with an even week in college football. I did hit a good first touchdown bet last week, so I was happy about that. But
And listen, all of these bets, all of these plays are verifiable bets. They are every single one of them verifiable bets that these folks on SoBet have to put unit values with. They've got to give descriptions for why they like each play. So you're not just tailing blindly. Yeah, here's his update from the other night. The NFL is here. These are up 27.5 units. Now the Bears one didn't work
yeah,
out.
that one didn't work out too
The
well.
Bengals one didn't work out. I think he hit the Ravens. And how many did the Jags win by?
I think they won by like 4. He may have. I think he barely got that. No, they didn't because they got a late touchdown from Etienne.
Mm,
And that put them up like 10, and then so I think they ended up winning by 10, something like
yeah,
that.
you
So,
probably got that one. Anyway, that's all you got to do
okay.
to find yourself with us on that Tuesday, first week in April. First full week.
Do what we're telling you to do.
Yeah, you're going to want to do this.
Yeah.
And we're
I
cutting
mean,
it
do
off.
you not want to go to Augusta? I mean,
Right,
why would you not want to do that?
right. And it's very easy. It'll take you like literally 3 minutes to do this.
Do you think people still know how hard it is to go?
I think
They
they do.
should.
They get all the rejection letters every. I mean, I
Yeah.
think. I mean, I
Okay.
keep getting them. All right, let's talk the AK range, Pat.
All right.
Mm. You don't have to be a bomber to win here.
Please don't start with Webb.
I'm not. I'm just well,
Okay,
that's
come
what I
on.
was gonna ask you. I mean, do you like Webb?
Mm-mm.
I freaking hate Lucas Herbert. He's another one. I actually understand the Lucas Herbert love way less than I do Bo Hostler. I could actually like Bo Hostler actually does some stuff that's decent. Lucas Herbert putts good. He hits it far. He sucks everywhere else.
But
I
he's
mean,
won.
sucks.
I don't think
That was
Hostler's ever even won.
He hasn't, but that was one freaking week where that dude, I mean, didn't he win like a Bermuda or something? It was super windy. It was
It
third.
was. It was like some. It was. Yes. It
I
was.
just I think this guy is trash. If I were making the prices here, this dude would literally be in the I mean, like David Lipsky, Stuart Sink range at 7,300. I just do not understand not just the people out there, but odds makers, DFS pricing people, whoever you are, send me an email, send me a letter, send me a DM, send me something that is in any way compelling for me to believe that Lucas Herbert, Earbert is any good at golf?
I mean, would you like me to read off the last 10 PGA Tour events? No, you don't want me to because it's boring as hell because there's a lot of missed cuts in here and a 15th at the Travelers.
Yeah, I mean,
But everything else is just crap. Just off, like, no good. Okay, I know he's probably played some DP World Tour stuff, but I mean,
in his career on the PGA Tour, which is only, I mean, it's not long. It's like 50 events. Okay, he's played in 50 PGA Tour events. He's got the win at the Bermuda. He's got a 7th at the Arnold Palmer.
Brian Gay won in Bermuda.
Right.
No, I mean, come on.
Thank you. He's got a 7th at the Arnold Palmer in 2022. No other top 10s. None. The 7th at Arnold Palmer, he gained, wait for it. I can't even do this math. He gained 15, almost 15 and a half strokes short game around the green and putting. Like, why is that at all predictable for any, like, why do we ever want anything to do with him? I don't understand it. And people play him.
You gotta pay it. You gotta pay 8,800 for him.
I see him on betting cards, like from smart people, smarter than me.
What?
Touts.
What? I don't.
Why do people like him? He looks funny. Like, I got it. If he was like this charismatic, like, chiseled jaw, look like Tom Brady out there or something, at least you'd be like, oh, wow, I'm kind of drawn to that dude. He's just a cool dude. I want to be like him. He's like back in the day when like the Marlboro Man was cool and everybody wanted to smoke cigarettes because Marlboro Man looked cool. Like, I don't even get that. Like, there's literally nothing redeeming about this man except he putts good. That's it.
No.
Do you know how many guys on the PGA Tour are great putters and suck at everything else? A lot of them. Pick another one, not Lucas Herbert.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I love Akshay.
I do too.
I love Suh, and I love Reevy. I like to say K-Range a good bit.
Yeah, I'm with you on Reevy. I love Suh. He's gonna probably end up on my betting card. Did he end up on yours?
He did not. He didn't quite make the cut, but he's had some good finishes over in he's played a couple of events on the DP World Tour, played well, I think. But he was just on the edge of me taking him out.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to be drawn to Hubbard, but I don't want to take him. I think now betting wise, I'd also would not bet Hubbard.
I didn't bet Hubbard either.
So I can probably see myself maybe playing him in some DFS, but I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nick Hardy for me is kind of a little bit of a gut feel.
Yep.
I feel like we could get a good Nick Hardy week. Did he play here last year? Because he would have been coming off of the
he finished 67th and 36th in 2 attempts here last year.
In 2 attempts
in 2 attempts the last 2 years, sorry.
Yeah. You got to play it twice.
Yeah, I have a good feeling about Hardy too. There's a lot of guys in here that I like, but I still don't feel like super safe with any of them, which is what we're going to expect here in this. I mean, this is going to be a weird week, but
yeah,
I mean, and honestly, I could see starting lineups in this range and not even touching the 9K. And it depends on just how chalky Eric Cole and Sahith. If Noren kind of surprises me and people come around on Noren, I may have even more lineups that don't have anyone priced above 8,700.
Yeah. I don't know if you're not really going to do that.
Yeah, I am. I'm not even kidding. Yeah. I love the high 7K range. I mean, okay, what would I do? Let's say Cole, Thagala are like super high owned. This place does not have a great track record for chalk. I don't want to play anybody in the 10K. Sure, I could go with Alex Noren. Maybe he comes in as sneaky as I think. I mean, what do I want to do? Do I want to roster JJ Spawn just because he's in the 92?
Yeah, okay.
Like, what's the difference in JJ Spawn and freaking Shez Reevy or Akshay?
Yeah, okay. I hear you. You don't need to yell. Calm down.
I'm not. I got headphones on. But you know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, there's the drop off. To me, the drop off occurs at probably just under Eric Cole. Like,
yeah,
from Brennan Todd to seriously, like, Dylan Wu.
Oh, wait,
What is
how
the
far
real?
down? Okay, there's Dylan.
I'm down to
Okay.
like 7,600.
Yeah.
Where are the standouts in that? They're all kind of the same. Like
Yeah, they are. They are. They are.
they all
I
have their
mean,
warts. They all have a few things. They got some things they're doing well, got some things they're not doing well. Some of them have a decent record here. Some have no record at all. Some have terrible record.
good lesson though for what we tend to see and what we will see as the fall progresses here. This is going to be what you're going. I mean, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're just not going to have a lot of difference, which is why you could, completely throw out some top end guys if you want, depending on how the fields shape up. I mean, here at least you have a Homa and a JT in the field, but
Yeah.
may not get that in a lot of these.
And do not eat the chalk. Don't eat the chalk,
No.
especially in that range. If you want to play Homa, I get it. I get that. I mean, for the case I'm making, I could play Homa, eat the chalk there, and then fill the rest of my lineup with 7K guys and be very happy. I feel like I'm not, if you just took the price tags off of all of them, but let me fit them in the lineup, I would be very happy.
What if Matt Kuchar pulls a Stewart Sink and wins here?
I could
Both
see
Georgia
Kuchar
Tech
playing well.
people.
I could see Kuchar playing well. Good wedge player.
Yeah.
I could see it. Strillman's
And
had some good
actually,
stuff in there.
Kuchar has had a fairly solid year.
Yeah.
Made a
Yeah.
lot of cuts. Okay.
Now, I'm not buying Taylor Montgomery. I'm not doing Herbert, and I'm not doing Montgomery in the 8K range.
No.
Still not on
And
that.
Montgomery had a great fall last year, finished well at this golf tournament.
Yeah,
Not
but
ready to do it yet. He's been so bad.
he's been awful.
Showed a little bit at the FedEx St. Jude, but
Most popular players in here, I would assume, would be Akshay, unless people say, "Oh, Akshay got engaged." Fade, fade. Oh, yeah,
Shez is to me going to be one of the highest owned in here.
I could see Shez being up there. Akshay, that's probably it. All right, $7,900 range, $7,000 range, whatever. Excuse me.
Yeah, I like this.
Want to also remind people that along with all your NFL goodies, don't forget to check out our friends at Underdog. Okay, you got all the weekly NFL props, PGA props. There's none open right now for the PGA, or I'd tell you a couple of guys I like. But all the props are out there. Best ball every single week for the PGA Tour. You can play best ball weekly contest, and of course, they're doing big things for the NFL. So. If you missed out on any best ball, I know they got some other best ball revival type contests coming out with Underdog. So click the link. Promo code Junkies gets you a 100% deposit match up to $100. And the best ball is pretty much available almost everywhere. Here's a map if you're watching on YouTube. And then Pick'em is available almost everywhere too, except for those gray and black states. So you got the Pick'em, you got the best ball thing. Underdog just crushes the best ball game. So check that out as well. We appreciate them for helping sponsor the show. If you appreciate us and you don't have an Underdog account, set one up. Promo code Junkies. Click the link below. All right, 7K. I like a lot of guys. Like I said, I don't know where you want to start.
I would love to start with Davis Thompson.
I kind of had him written down, but I was like,
I'm a big fan. This week, he's just, we did the betting show earlier, and he was peeking his head. He was like peeking over, just looking at me.
You had a turtle head for Davis Thompson?
Yeah. And, he is a Bulldog, so I'm not a homer with that.
Right.
But he did, finish well at the Wyndham with a T22. Did not get into the final events though, but played well here last year. As a matter, let's see where he was.
Yeah, he finished third.
I think Davis Thompson.
Ninth. Sorry, ninth.
Yeah, ninth last year. I like Davis this week. Number one in this field in par 5 scoring. Great off the tee. He's obviously there's a reason for that because he's got some distance there. We've seen guys with distance win, obviously, here on this course, like a Cam Champ. So I like Davis Thompson. I think I don't feel very and that was the reason I didn't talk about him on the betting shows because I just don't know like outright.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he's got a lot of upside, so I like him at 7,900.
I I'm gonna go to the very, very short-lived DFS darling Peter Quest.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. Don't mind it.
I mean, we just saw a really nice run of ball striking out of him. He hits it a mile. Um,
Does he sound like a TV character to you?
yeah, a little bit.
Peter
Yeah.
Peter Kest. I mean, he's either like
Quest or Quest?
Whatever it
I don't
is.
know. I think it's
He is.
Quest. I think they
He
say
could
Quest.
either be a TV character on a show like Family Ties, if you remember, like he could be the dad on Family Ties,
Okay.
or you don't remember that because you don't remember shows from, or
I
he
say by
could
the bell, I know that.
he could be like the main ABC news anchor. Like he
Yeah.
took like if
Well, you're
Peter
thinking Peter Jennings.
yeah, Peter Kest took the place of Peter Jennings, you'd be like, I don't know what happened. I mean, they're the same person and everything's good with the world.
Yeah. Or maybe you're just, like, thinking of other sitcom people named Peter, like Peter Griffin, Peter whoever from Family Ties.
I don't know. I made that up.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know, but I like him. I think I'm interested. I think I'm interested on this kid. I think he's really talented. So, I like Questlove to do his thing.
Mhm.
Eckroad is interesting. Now, if Eckroad gets any sort of buzz, I'll bounce because the end of the year did not go great for him. He had a run there in the late summer, but then it was really bad for his last 4 events or so. I'll be happy to bounce off of him. Pendrith kind of looked to show some signs of life off the surgery and like a really tough restart. But I like the bomber here, the Cam Champ, Brendan Steele model of winners here, and Max Homa for that matter. In terms of give me somebody with a lot of distance, going to have a lot of short irons in here to hit a lot of greens and reg. That's really what it comes down to here. So Pendrith is interesting to me, and I like Chesson Hadley at 7,700, who has some good finishes here and had a strong end to the year. And Chesson Hadley seems like a short hitter, but I think he's a little bit longer than people think. People want to give him credit for. Very good putter as well. Garrick Higo, D Woo, and Luke List. Like this 76 to 79 up to Peter Quest, I like a lot. Sam Stevens, I love. I really like this range. This is why I don't see myself going too pricey up top because it definitely falls off for me after that.
Yeah, Sam Stevens and Sam Ryder right there in the middle there at 7,600. I like them both. Both had very strong finishes to their season
Hmm.
recently. Sam Ryder with a 7th at the 3M, T38 at the Wyndham.
Stevens had a 10th at the 3M
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yep. So both of them have played well. I like them both. Dylan Wu, I think you mentioned him already.
I like Dylan
Uh,
Wu and Garrick Higo a ton.
yeah,
Higo really turned up at the end of the year.
he did.
I think he's had some swing changes that have helped him out. And again, back
You've
to
been
that.
a Higo hater.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
I questioned his judgment being married at such a young age.
Well, now that means you can't play Akshay either.
Well,
You got to question. You can't question one and not the other.
there's a difference there, and I don't want to get into the difference because
I know what the difference
I'll get
is.
hated
Actually,
for it. I'll get hated for it. Yeah.
I know what the difference might be. I think I know
Moving,
what it.
moving right along.
Okay.
But yeah, I really, really like that range. I'm gonna have a lot of exposure there. I don't have much. I mean, in terms of chalk guesses, I do think Higo and D Woo are going to be popular. I don't know what to think about Pendrith and Eckroad though. Like Pendrith and Eckroad are DFS darlings. Like people like them a lot. But given how they ended things, I'm just curious how other touts and other people will talk them up. Because I mean, obviously, for a lot of these guys, we haven't seen them play in a month. So who
I
know
feel
who
like
really knows what the form
I feel
is?
like Eckroat's going to end up getting a little more than Pendrith, and
Mhm.
and and really because obviously a lot of people that talk about these guys and tout these guys, and when they look at stats, And Eckroat's going to come up on a lot of things. I mean, he really is. He's kind of like he's got some Luke List qualities. He's a great, just a really good ball striker.
I think Luke is sneaky this week too, by the way.
He doesn't have a lot of
Sneaky.
just like holes in his game.
Yeah.
So I think that's where you're going to see Eckroat pop up a little bit.
Okay.
Pendrith has well, I mean, I don't know. Pendrith looks good too. But I mentioned List. I know you're kind of interested in him. Here's a name for you. What about older guy number 2 in the field, Ryan Palmer?
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. He actually did check some boxes. I ran like a very basic early model on
He hadn't played here in a while.
on Silverado. And he is check. I don't know how he's checking this many boxes because I just see great ball striking numbers and then just a lot of poor finishes. But but that's Ryan Palmer, and that's the putter. Now, his worst putting surface historically, and we have a large sample size, is POA. That is very, very scary. His worst putting surface, and he's bad. He's a bad putter.
Yeah, I'm starting to get talked out of him.
This is not a Luke List situation. Like, you can get Luke
Yeah.
List, elite ball striker, better than Ryan Palmer ball striker, awful putter, but he's twice as good, twice less awful on POA as he is bent in Bermuda. Whereas Palmer, it goes down bad quickly. Not a lot of POA in Texas.
No, there's not. I was just bringing his name up. I wouldn't worry about him.
It's not hard to talk yourself off of any of these guys at this point.
No, it's not.
Nate Lashley, just as a guy who can do something in a birdie fest. He does. I mean, it's crazy to say this, but like, I do think Nate Lashley has a floor that is higher than a lot of players in this spot, and I think he actually has some upside. I mean, he's a winner on tour, 2 top 20s in the last 5 years at this place. Ended the season, made 5 of his last 6 cuts with a 17th and a T21. 7,400 feels nice. Kevin Yu had a couple big finishes there to end the year. Hits it a long way. Can't putt, but Grayson Sigg has played here twice, and for a Augusta boy to have a 51 and a 30th place finish on this POA Fest and having a solid end to his year is interesting. I know Grayson's a great wedge player. If I were going to take an old guy, I'd rather have Charlie Hoffman. Hoffman loves POA, and he's a ball striker. He's still ball. He turned it around at the end of last year. He finished 12th. What was that, the Wyndham?
I think it was.
Let me look. Yeah, 12th at the Wyndham.
Yeah.
And I mean, actually, look at his iron play. His iron play was like borderline vintage Charlie Hoffman from Pebble Beach on. Like, he literally lost strokes with his irons in 2 events, the Rocket Mortgage and the Genesis. Scottish, which, I mean, is weird. Now, he continued to putt like a blind person. No offense to Craig, our boy Craig.
Yeah.
Craig's actually a great putter and blind.
You said it, not me.
Craig's the Team DB guy, though. I love Craig. Craig loves me, and I've witnessed it with my own eyes. The dude's blind, and he putts fantastic. So,
he's challenged me to a putting contest, by the way. We still need to work that out. Yeah. He's probably
all credit to Craig. I mean, but Hoffman putts like way worse than you would imagine a blind person like Craig would putt.
Well, I actually thought about Hoffman was one that kind of popped for me a little bit.
Sprays the driver, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
I kind of think Hoffman's your old.
I think Justin Lauer down here at 7,200. He played well here last year. He started showing some good signs later in the season.
Mm-hmm.
He's sort of a really hit or miss guy, I feel like. But I think he makes some sense. By the way, Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers gets sacked on like the 3rd play of the game. He's already injured.
No way.
Yeah.
Is he
already
out?
injured? I don't know. Zach Wilson's throwing balls right now, so
No way.
I feel like he'll be back, but apparently he's hurt. This is
Would
what
that
happens.
just be the most Jets thing ever to happen?
Ever. Jets, that's just the Jets.
By the way, while we're talking about football, the most Falcons thing ever, by the way. Now, the Falcons
Now,
won.
wait a second. Let's not.
Pat, the first play of the game,
Oh, yeah, the pass to himself.
it wasn't just that. Desmond Ridder hit the defensive lineman in the neck with the pass. He hit him in the neck.
Listen.
It wasn't even close to going over his head. He just acted like he was going to be able to throw it through him. It hit him in the neck, popped up. Ridder caught his own pass for -1 yard. He had more catches than Drake London.
Listen to this. They didn't even bring this up. Do you get the red zone?
No. Can you order the red zone by itself anymore? Or do
The
you
red zone is the greatest thing
I
ever.
love the red zone, but can you get it by itself anymore? Or do you have to have Sunday ticket?
I don't know.
How do you have it?
I have it.
You have Sunday ticket?
I don't know. I just know I have the red zone.
You probably bought it on Tour Junkies credit card.
No, I did not. I did not. But I've got the red zone, and it's like crack to me. Like my OCD self, like everything's all over the place. Like I can't focus on one game, and I love it.
Yeah.
But Desmond Ridder did that because this is at the very beginning. Like all these drives were happening right at the very beginning.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud did the exact same thing within minutes. He hit his player in front of him, it bounced up, and he caught it. Same thing. And the announcers, though, when CJ Stroud did it, were like, I wonder who's done that before on their first ever pass. And that obviously wasn't, I guess because it wasn't just Ritter's first ever pass. So I guess that's why they brought it up. Brett Favre.
No way.
Brett Favre on his first ever pass did the same thing. Hit somebody, bounced up, caught it.
What a trivia question one day, huh?
Yeah.
CJ Stroud and Brett Favre.
Mm-hmm.
When that play happened, I was sitting there like, this is just such an Atlanta situation. The first freaking play is a quarterback completing a pass to himself for -1 yard after hitting a defensive lineman in that damn near the what is this? What's the artery? The jugular or whatever. Like
But I don't think they care because they have such good running backs and their line is actually pretty good.
They don't, but
let me tell you this too. But I know we got to talk some golf because I know you're a Kyle Pitts hater because you had Kyle Pitts.
I'm not a Kyle Pitts hater.
Kyle Pitts does not suck. Kyle Pitts quarterbacks suck.
By the way, I didn't have Kyle Pitts last year. Who are you projecting? Who are you projecting?
I don't know because you said you hated my Kyle Pitts draft pick when I picked him in like the 7th round.
I did, but only because I watched Falcons games. Like poor Kyle Pitts, who's very freaking good and would be electric on any team with any sort of quarterback play or any team that cared to even throw the ball.
I get it now. That's what I was going to get. I get it now. It's crap. It pisses me off.
Yeah, it's not a Kyle Pitts problem.
It's such a waste of talent.
Drake London's the same situation. Kyle Pitts and Drake London being on a team with Arthur Smith running it and the running backs concept and Bijan now and Algier, like it's just not you're on an island. You're done. You're dead. They're gonna have a couple of games a year and that's it. Anyway, 6K draft. Want to do 6K draft?
Yeah,
all right,
let's do that.
Because clearly we're done. All right, 6K draft. I guess I'll start. I don't love this. If I'm going like safety here, which obviously you're one, I mean, there's very limited options here for upside, but I think Zach Blair is kind of safe at 6,800. He's got a 12th here last year, a 4th in 2020 or 4 years ago. He's got it finished 13th and
played well in the late season.
Late runner up at the one tournament he could have won. I mean, Zach Blair 6,800. Sure.
Okay. You
don't have to be long to win here.
All right. I am adding a guy that I mentioned on the betting show too that I like, and that's Matty Schmid. Wait, no, he's 7,000. Damn it. I thought he was right up there.
Yeah, I do like. We didn't mention him, but I do like.
I do. 2 top 25s in his last 2 starts. All right. Fine. You know what? I'll go with Smoth Daddy. 6,900. Finished well. T27 at the Wyndham.
I was gonna say him. California kid too. Going to be comfy on POA. I know he went to college in Texas, but he's going to be comfy on POA. Hang on. I'm getting. I'm getting. Pat, this is similar to. What we talked about our 9 years of doing this. Something similar happened like this back in 2017. I'm getting some texts. And something kind of happened in 2017 when I was getting texts on the show, and I kind of had this look on my face, and you kind of pressed me, and I kind of opened up what it was, and then that led to us discovering that you were kind of in this dry spell in 2017. And my wife's been away for a while. She's been in South Africa. She just got back. So I just gotta try to answer this question too. Yeah. What are we doing? We're doing okay. I'll go. I will go. I'm gonna do Trevor Cone. Bomber.
Don't mind it.
Had a couple of decent showings. Third place finish, I think it was. He made a couple cuts. I'll go Trevor Cone.
Okay.
Doesn't feel good. Probably won't have any of them, but if I got to pick a guy in 6K, I think I like it.
All right, fine. I'm going to go with a guy that just feels good from a stat standpoint, Kevin Roy.
I like Kevin Roy. All right, so we're saying guys. I mean, I'm going to run out of options because I literally don't have a lot of guys in here I like. But we're naming all of the guys I had written down. For my final pick, I am going to go with. I actually picked this guy a fair amount last year, and he did okay. I like Jason Duffner. This is a high green and reg situation. Look at his finishes towards the end of the year. Had a 20th, a 24th, a 31st. He's got a 29th and a 42nd last 3 years here. I would take a 29th or a 42nd from Duffner out of the $6,500 range.
Okay.
I mean, it wouldn't be great. I wouldn't win a GPP with it, but I'd be all right.
Well, I feel like I'm standing in the way of you and some sex. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick this guy, but I could ramble a little bit if I wanted to.
You could.
Because I don't like this guy at all. But
I know who this is.
But Ryan Moore finished second here several years ago, back in 2019. Game seems to be coming back together a little bit. Has some, definitely shows up on some stats. So I'm going to go with Ryan Moore here.
We literally said, you said 3 guys I had written down. There was one more guy on the sheet that I had written down that you and I did not say. So there are very limited options in this range that I like.
Yeah.
Probably won't be here very, very much, if at all. All right. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. We'll be back. Ryder Cup content, full slate of content this week. Like I said, don't forget the SoBet contest. Do that so you might have a chance to hang out with me and Pat on that special Tuesday in April. And make your screens be green. See ya.
Enjoy the wine and sex.
Out!